Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you.
Even me?
If you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind. If you're young at heart.
Well, I can relate to the narrow of mind part there, Frank. Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to the program on this first Sunday of the month of April. And we are going to, during both segments of this weekend's program, jam your April calendar with all kinds of stuff to do with our friends at Newport's Edward King Senior Center. And here to tell us all about it, once again, our good friend, Carmela Gear, the Executive Director. Carm, happy April.
It's April. It's April. Woohoo!
Oh, boy, I'll tell you.
Happy April is right. Arthur, I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to spring. This winter was a little weird.
Yeah, it was.
You know, it was weird on the books. And it seems that every time we turn around, we get a little dose of that nice, warm, and sunny, and then wham, let's have another snowstorm, and then no, let's enjoy the tropics. Nope, let's have the snow again.
And now it looks like it's April that may come in like a lion.
Yeah.
Jeez, yikes.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we won't dwell on that. But before I always like to do this before we move forward. I always like to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us, first of all, what's been going on and how things have gone.
Oh, my gosh. Well, what's not been going on at the Edward King House? Well, the first news I have is kind of bittersweet. It's sad, yet it's happy all at the same time. Our program manager, Anthony, will be moving on to newer pastures. He'll be leaving the Edward King House. In fact, as you're listening to us speak right now, he will have already had his last day at the King House. He was there for almost 2 years and really made his mark on the program and helping the program to achieve the growth that it has in the past couple of years. He has been my right-hand man, much as Nick was before him.
Sure.
So now we're looking for the next person to help me co-lead this wonderful ship of a senior center. We're very happy for him as he goes on to his next adventure. He's very excited about what's to come, although he's got that heart tug, back to the center, and so we wish him well on his new adventure.
Now, he's actually originated some programs, including
the baseball hot stove, yep. Which will be starting this month, and he'll still be doing that. So he'll be coming back as a volunteer for that program. That was his baby from the very beginning, and anything baseball-oriented is very hard for Anthony to walk away from. So we're excited that although he's leaving us professionally full time, he has committed himself to still supporting the King House and especially this program, but certainly in offering his time and talent as needed for the program. His relationship with so many of our seniors is a long-standing one. It's going to be kind of hard for him to that tomorrow morning, when he wakes up and reports elsewhere. I'm sure will be a difficult transition for him, but we'll still see him with regards to baseball.
And
Absolutely.
Nothing to warm the cockles of one's heart this time of the year than the start of a baseball season, where Carm and I were talking before we began recording this program, that opening day, as you hear this program, tomorrow, the Red Sox open in Cleveland against old friend Terry Francona and his Indians. Game time, mid-40s, overcast, with a mix of snow flurries and freezing rain. Oh, great. That's just great.
That's just so baseball. I can remember when my kids were playing Little League, and, a lot of folks, grandparents and parents alike out there, would certainly remember you either wrapped up in blankets and parkas, or it was 95 degrees in the shade, and, it was the two boys of summer idea, with regards to weather and baseball. It's New England. It is what it is. You pack it up the way you're supposed to pack it up, and you go and you enjoy every minute of it. So we're really excited about our first, this is actually our second venture with regards to Hot Stove for baseball. But the delightful thing about our Hot Stove program, which begins Wednesday, April 6th at 6:30, it's a $5 suggested donation. The money is really intended just to cover the food that we'll be offering for the event. But you'll get to watch live baseball in the comfort of the Edward King House. So regardless of what's going on outside, inside the weather will be just right for a big screen showing of live baseball. So one way or another, you can't help but be a fan.
My all-time favorite sport ever, baseball.
Me too.
Tops my list.
Me too, absolutely.
Well, looking forward to it. Now, that'll be what, every...
So the first meeting is Wednesday, April 6th, and once the folks get together with regards to this Hot Stove, from there they'll schedule what it is that the upcoming games will be aired. We thought we'd leave it up to the group to see what worked for them and where their interests lie. If they want to do Red Sox and all Red Sox, then Red Sox it is, and if they want to do a mixture of other teams, then we'll follow the lead of the folks who attend on that first night. So it's really important to come on that first night, whether you can stay for the entire airing of the game or you're just there for the first hour. Put your vote in on how it is that you'd like to utilize this opportunity that we have to air live baseball at the house and be a part of that. So if it's something we do every Wednesday night, we'll do it every Wednesday night. It's completely up to the group as to where they'd like to see this whole baseball thing go throughout the season. And we very likely, as the baseball season unravels and the weather does get warmer and we go into the summer season, that will very likely expand the offerings for live baseball. So it's intended to be easy breezy and fun and to give an opportunity for baseball fans to come together and do what we do best, and not only watching baseball, but talking baseball. So, we're looking forward to what this will blossom into. So that's our start. We get out of the gate on April 6th, and then when I come back to see you next month, I'll have a better calendar for you on how the whole baseball program will roll out.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our listeners up to date on that as we move forward here through the spring and summer months. Now, you had one specific topic in mind that you wanted to really zero in on this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going into the spring and summer months, we've been talking a lot about the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of being a senior. But one of the topics I'd really like to kind of put our teeth into this time around has to do with the emotional aspects of being a senior. We're going to be offering AARP's Life Reimagined Checkup program in the month of April. We'll be doing one on April 13th at 10 a.m. and then another one on Tuesday, April 26th at 6 p.m. And it's an opportunity for folks to really take stock of where they are and where they'd like to see themselves in the coming years of their third chapter. A lot of folks have this idea of, okay, I retire, so I'm not going to work anymore. I'm just going to sit home and see what happens. But that doesn't happen in reality. And we really don't want that to happen in reality, because if you're sitting at home and waiting for something to happen, the likelihood of depression setting in rises dramatically. If you're doing the exact opposite and you're filling every minute of time with something because you're afraid that if you're sitting around and not actively doing something that your health will deteriorate, that's too far on the other end of the spectrum. So the idea of the Life Reimagined project is to find a balance, not in work and life or in volunteering in life, is to find an energy balance. It used to be, long ago and far away, that you divided your life up in 8s. It was 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, and 8 hours for yourself. And then technology set in. And when technology set in, it turned that 888 formula to a 24/7 formula, and that turned everything upside down. And I discovered this myself in my own, day-to-day living, that I am constantly connected to, some kind of a technological gadget. The computer is always on. I find myself working on a project and answering emails and answering phone calls. All of this stuff is happening at one time. And then what do we do to rest? And we don't. We don't rest. We find that other activity that we're engaged in, whether it be volunteering for the organization of your choice or your family, or, I know that when I go home from a day's work at the King House, the next house I'm caring for is my own home and my family and, all the things that go along with that. And there's work involved in that too. Yeah. So, those are the kinds of things that I'd really like to talk about today, on kind of finding that balance, finding the place where you can find your inner happy as well as your outer happy, and the opportunity to stay well and stay healthy, and yet still find fulfillment. It's hard to do. It's not an easy thing to do without really thinking about how to achieve that particular balance. And where I'm getting my information from, so I can give a shout out from the person who really helped me to get excited about this particular topic. I had an opportunity to read a program called 6 Ways to Create a Saner Life by Janet Holly Booth. And all of this you can find on the aarp.org website. And she really spoke to me on some of the things that she was talking about, especially that 888 that we used to do once upon a time, to this 24/7 culture that we now live in the United States. And it's not just our young people who are living in this 24/7 culture. We're all doing it, no matter how old you are. And even for our own program at the Edward King House, we're doing a lot of work in technology and helping folks to understand how their email works, and how to live stream video, and how to pay your bills online, and how to protect yourself from scam artists, all of those things. So we're constantly being bombarded by all of these things. And when I had a chance to read this particular article that Janet wrote, it really spoke to me about the difference between finding yourself and unplugging. They're two different things. And just to give you an example, of those 6 ways, one of them was to achieve peace of mind and to stay sane. That's not the same as just walking away from things. It's finding that how much time are you going to provide to anything. If you were to make a pie chart of what your day looked like and where you were spending all of your time, what does that look like? So I knew that this morning I was coming in to do this particular radio show with you. I cannot do anything else, right? We turned off the phone. I am focusing right now on having this conversation with you. Do I do this all day, with every other thing that I do? And the answer to that question, sadly, is no. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like I have to take this studio, take this booth with me everywhere I go, and have that idea of when I'm home making dinner, I should be focusing on making dinner, not on making dinner and answering emails and listening to my 17-year-old who's telling me about his day. And I even discovered this last night. The poor kid was trying to tell me something, and I heard half of what he told me. So how do I respond to him? Wait, Liam, can you say that again? What did you just say to me? And I had to focus specifically on him, on the story he was telling me about his day. We do that all the time. Mm-hmm. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for our insides. It's not healthy for our outsides. So, that's really where we're putting a lot of our energy as we're going into these spring months, that really take the time to focus on what it is that you're doing at the time that you're doing it. And that's what we mean by, number 2, being the center of your own attention. That you really have that understanding of, if you're sitting down paying your bills, sit down and pay your bills. If you're doing 50,000 other things at the same time, that what should be 15, 20-minute exercise now takes hours to get done, or possibly doesn't get done in the time that you're working on it, because you're trying to get all of these other things done at the same time. So if I had to do Lent all over again, this might be the thing that that I would do, that I would try to center on my own attention for whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, and not let the other things get in the way.
And this is a mass appeal topic, too. This isn't
Absolutely.
Strictly for seniors.
You got it.
And, and we hear so often about, especially in this day and age, way back when, it used to be the father went to work, mom stayed home.
Yep.
Mom was the housemaker, took care of the kids,
That's right.
et cetera, et cetera. Now it's a world of two working parents. And a lot of times you hear where, and honestly, obviously through no fault of the parents, but a lot of it, falls on the kids where they just don't have enough time to spend helping a son or a daughter with homework. Or like you said, because you got 1,000 things going through your dome at the same time, being able to strictly zero in and concentrate on a conversation. What'd you say again?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And it's nobody's fault, but it happens. It's an offshoot of...
You're so right. Absolutely. And what we're doing in the end is we're teaching our children and our grandchildren or any of the people around us that it's okay to do these, multitask, we call it. And multitasking has a place. If I have a major event going on, I have to multitask while that major event is going on. But that doesn't mean that every day, all the time, I should be multitasking. That's what gets us into trouble. And then we worry about time. We worry about not having enough time to get the things done that we need to get done. Then what we find ourselves doing is spending so much time worrying about what we have for time that we didn't get done what we could have done in that time frame. Does that make any sense? You spend more time worrying about it and less time actually doing it. If you actually spent the time doing it, you'd have nothing to worry about.
Then on top of all that, you spend so much time worrying on it, you can't get to sleep.
You can't get to sleep. Oh, well, that's number 3.
Oh, that's just
scheduling
great.
Downtime, right? So we're not good with downtime. As Americans, we're really bad at downtime. We're not good at resting. We're not good at breathing. We're not good at being quiet. We're not good at any of that. We feel guilty if we sit down and we're not actively doing something. That's killing us. And it's causing the stress levels for every individual, whether you're a kid or an adult or a senior, to raise to all kinds of heights. So at some point, this is the unplug part. Unplug from the work part and do something that is for you. What used to be that 8 hours of life, the time that you did for yourself. Hillary Rodham Clinton once said, don't confuse a career with having a life. And we do that all the time. In fact, many folks, if you ask them, what are your interests and what do you do? The first and only thing they may be talking about is what they do with regards to their career. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm the Senior Center Director for the Edward King House. It's important to me. Yeah, that's great. But what else do you do, Carm? What are your other interests? And it takes me a little while to think about what those things are before I can respond to you, and that's problematic. You should be able to respond with what you like to do in your downtime. I'm blessed to live on this island. I love to walk the beach, but I have to think about that before I can answer. When was the last time I walked the beach? And sadly, I don't have the answer for that. Now, granted, we're coming off the winter time and going into spring, but when it comes time for me to schedule my downtime, what am I going to do? Well, I'd like to go walk the beach, and I'd like to do it before August, which happened to me last year. I didn't get to my beloved beach until the month of August. All of this time in the calendar. Why did it take me so long to have that downtime to get to the beach? No emergency phone calls. Don't even bring the cell phone. Keep it in the car. Have that opportunity to just be yourself. You'd be surprised the health benefits of just taking a little bit of time for yourself every single day.
Yeah.
So, number 4, this one's even harder, and that's dropping the soul suckers and the time wasters. So, if you were to really make out a list of all the things in your life that waste time, you would discover in a week's time, if you just kept a running list every time you thought of something that was taking time away from the things that are important to you, the list is really long. How often do you sit in front of the boob tube, in front of the television set, to watch something just for the sake of watching it or just because the TV is on. Why is the TV on? Did you really want to watch that show? Or are you just sitting there because it happens to be on? And that's a time waster. You could have been doing something you really like to do. In my case, I could have gotten into the car and gone to the beach and taken a walk. Instead, I watched back-to-back episodes of ... whatever. Or why did I watch the news 3 times the other night? At 5 o'clock, at 5:30, and 6 o'clock, when the news items were all exactly the same for all 3. Those are time wasters. Soul Suckers is dealing with people and things that are toxic within your life. So, having the message from the individual who gives you a hard time and has a lot of negative things to say. And they really need to talk to you for the 15th time this week because they have 1,000,001 things that they want to complain about. And then you call them back when you should be doing something that makes your soul feel good. Instead, you've entered yourself into that place where it's negative and it hurts you. Even though you think you're doing a good thing by, giving that person your time, you are. But unless you can turn that negativity into something positive, it's sucking the life out of you. To be in places and doing things that aren't doing you any good. And this really goes back to the whole idea of before we can take care of anybody else, you really need to learn to take care of yourself. And I am student number 101, when it comes to that kind of thing. I tend to break these rules all the time. And then I get tired and I get sick and then I can't do the things that, that the world expects me to do. So it's really important to have that understanding of is this good for me, whatever the it happens to be. And if it's not, you really need to take stock as to whether or not it should be a part of your daily routine or your lifestyle at all. Number 5 has a lot to do with the work we do at the Edward King House, and that's get moving, one way or the other. Take a walk. Take a yoga class, go shopping, do that something that makes your body move, because unless that body is moving, your insides aren't going to be working unless your outsides are following suit. And not that I don't care where it is that you go, but I don't. Do something that is going to allow your body to move to its highest level of comfort. And, not everybody can run. I'm not a runner. I can't run. I can walk, though, and I'm lucky to be able to do that. And if you do have mobility issues, find the movement activity that does suit you. That's why we offer all the things that we offer at the King House that, some of them are stand up, some of them are sit down, some of them are on the floor, some of them are not. But find that movement activity that gets your blood pumping and gets your heart going. You will find that it will help to elevate your mood as well, because the two do work hand in hand. And then having this idea, number 6, of balancing your mindset. We talked about that toxic person. Are you the toxic person? When you get up in the morning, what's the first thought that you have? Is it a happy one? Is it an unhappy one? Do you think of something positive? Do you think of something that's not positive? Is the first words that come out of your mouth a complaint? And it's, 7 a.m. in the morning and already the weather's not doing what you want it to do, or it's too cold, or it's too hot, or, whatever the case might be. Really having that idea of when you wake up in the morning and you get moving, that even though you might have to talk yourself into it in the beginning, say something positive. Okay, it's raining outside, but you know what? I get to wear my favorite sweater today. Or it's snowing out there, but my favorite baseball team is going to be playing on the tube today. Those kinds of things where you kind of try to walk toward the light and not toward the darkness. It's not easy to do. None of these things are really easy to do. But you do find that when you take that first step, you keep taking another one and another and another. And before you know it, you've changed the way you look at the world. How's that?
All right.
Yeah.
It's all between the earlobes.
It is all between the earlobes when all is said and done.
Yeah.
Put the cell phone down for a little while. Turn off the TV. Turn on your radio. And listen to the music, or, go visit a friend, or go do something that you haven't done in years.
And what's amazing is, you go through, and I'm guilty of this, You go through it. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yep.
I'm not going to have enough time to get it. Then when you actually get yourself a little organized, and you just put your mind to doing and getting everything done that you needed to do,
Yep.
you look at your watch and go, that wasn't so bad.
Absolutely.
But like you said, all the time wasted is...
Yep. I'm trying to live by this Post-it note method. So 2 Post-it notes. One of them has the hard thing I have to get done for the day. The other one has 3 easier things to get done for the day. If I can accomplish that difficult one first, tackle the difficult one first. If you leave that until later, you will lose your energy to get that piece done. So tackle the difficult one first and make sure that it's realistic with regards to time frame. If that difficult thing is going to really take you 3 days to get done, it doesn't make sense to make that your something to do that's difficult in one day when you can't get it done in a day. So be realistic about achieving that goal. And then tick off those 3 things that are easier to get done, picking up the dry cleaning or paying your insurance bill or, whatever the case might be. Do the more difficult thing first while your mind is fresh and you have that energy. And then the 3 things that are easier to get done later on in the day or as the day progresses. You're going to find yourself with time. And then you get to decide, what do you want to do next? How much time do you have left? Can you do 2 more easy things? Do you have time to do 1 more complicated thing? And then plan accordingly. And you make yourself feel better because you've checked those things off the list. In this particular case with the 2 Post-it notes, there's no better feeling than taking that Post-it note off the wall, crumpling it up, and putting it in the recycling bin. Because you accomplished it. It's done. Now it's time to replace it with the next Post-it note for the next day, not for that particular day. Otherwise, you get bombarded with all this stuff. You don't think you're going to get any of it done. You give up, and then you're right. Nothing gets done. And then you feel unhappy, and then that leads to all kinds of detrimental things to your health.
And see how fast we got through the first segment?
Yeah!
All right. Well, listen, everybody out there, sit tight. We'll come back with Carmela Gear, the Executive Director of Newport's Edward King Senior Center, and we'll delve into the April calendar and let you know what's coming up.
You got it.
All right? Don't dare touch that dial. And welcome back to this weekend's edition of the program. If you just tuned in, our guest this weekend is Carmela Gear, the Executive Director of Newport's Edward King Senior Center. And as we mentioned before the break, we're going to take a look at their April calendar, and this is why we have Carm on once a month. We like to fill you in on some of the stuff to look forward to. And what do we got on the docket this month?
I love April. April is such a wonderful time. That means that all the blankets, I hope, are being put away, and the coverings that we had on all the windows are being taken down so we can open them every once in a while. The daffodils are beginning to bloom in the Friendship Garden in front of the King House and all over the city of Newport and throughout the island. So it's a really special time, and we've got lots going on. The nicer the weather, the more we have to offer, certainly. So let's just get started kind of from the very beginning and just keep, moving our way through. Our weight loss support group, will be meeting again beginning April 4th every Monday at 10:30 in the morning. This particular group has grown considerably from where it started, and they're doing a lot of work on staying healthy and eating well. So please come join us for this particular program, completely free, open to both men and women, 10:30 in the morning at the Edward King House. We started our Color Me Calm adult coloring program every Tuesday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And some beautiful pieces have been created by the folks who have been participating in that program. That one, too, free, does not cost a thing. Come join us. We provide the coloring pages. We provide the markers and coloring pencils. We've had a lot of support from the Newport Daily News with regards to this program. So we really look forward to seeing you. You don't have to register. Just come on a Tuesday morning. And although it runs from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we often find that folks stay up until lunch. And our lunch program is certainly thriving, still doing very well every day, Monday through Friday. We serve lunch at noon. We ask that you make your reservation by noontime the day before. and come take a look at what the calendar offerings are for our lunch program. You can find all of that on our website at www.edwardkinghouse.org, or give us a call at the center, 846-7426. We'd be happy to let you know what we're serving for lunch. The University of Rhode Island's College of Pharmacy is going to be conducting a program on wound care on April 21st. It's an opportunity for a discussion on the different stages of wounds, their causes, and physical properties, and how we can best treat them. Should it be bandaged? Should it not be bandaged? Even in raising my kids, let alone for myself, there are times when you really have to think about, now wait a minute, do I put a bandage on this, or do I let nature kind of take its course with the wound? So it'll be a great opportunity to learn what you need to know with regards to that. And again, that's April 21st at 1 p.m., free and open to the public. We did speak a little while ago with regards to the baseball hot stove coming this Wednesday, April 6th at 6:30. Roundtable discussion about hot topics in baseball. The game will be shown on a big screen, and baseball trivia and snacks will also be provided. So we're really excited about that.
Can we get Pablo Sandoval into your weight loss program, please? God almighty.
We'd have to invite him, my dear. But yeah, he's welcome to come. AERP will be providing their Life Reimagined program, as I had stated before. Again, this is also free, but we ask you to please RSVP so we have enough handouts for everyone. Wednesday, April 13th at 10 a.m. And again, this is the same program, but being offered in the evening. Tuesday, April 26th at 6 p.m. at the Edward King House. Come join us for that particular program. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see. So free tax preparations are still going on. Tax day seems to be getting closer and closer, and we're getting concerned that we may not have reached as many people as we'd like, although we've been very busy with our tax preparation services. That is also offered by AERP. So they'll be joining us every Monday, and we're extending it to Monday, April 18th. So it's not too late. Come and see us. No appointment necessary. It's a walk-in service and free.
How can you extend it to April 18th?
Well, that's what I said too. Isn't the tax day on the 15th? But evidently there is a holiday in D.C. on the 15th, which is extending tax day to April 18th.
Oh, you just made my day.
I know. That's what I said.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going all the way to April 18th.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely. So that's the last call, really, for getting it done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th.
4th, the 11th, and the 18th.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Our friends from Blenheim Newport will be sponsoring our monthly pasta party on Tuesday, April 19th at 5 p.m.
How'd that go last month?
It was awesome.
I bet.
I have to tell you, Chef Tom, who is the executive chef at Blenheim Newport, came with his really, really great marinara and sausage and sauce recipe. So good. But he also brought his own homemade biscotti for dessert. Art, I'm telling you, for $5 you get the entire meal: salad, garlic bread, pasta, sauce, and sausage, or meatballs, depending on what it is that Chef Tom will be bringing, and then his homemade biscottis. You can't beat it. So please come join us. This program is open to the public as well as to members. We do need to know if you're coming. You can pay at the door, but we need to know if you're coming so that we make sure we have enough food. But the biscotti alone is to die for. Absolutely delicious.
Date on the April event there?
April 19th. Tuesday, April 19th.
I can remember that. It's my dear mother's birth anniversary.
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on over and have some pasta with us, Art. It's absolutely delicious. And, of course, the company is great, and, the music is playing, and we have an opportunity to, share a glass of wine, have a little pasta, and enjoy each other's company. So please come join us. Seating is limited. We can't do any more than 35 folks within that particular space in the house. So make sure you make your reservation. Give us a call, 846-7426. Let us know that you're coming, and feel free to pay that $5 at the door. We're getting ready to go to New York City again, my friend. So we just wanted to let our members and folks in the public know that we've got a fantastic trip planned for Labor Day weekend this coming September to New York. It's an overnight stay. We leave on Friday. We return on Monday. It's $400 per person. It's an all-inclusive package, double occupancy. Let us know if you're interested in coming. The deadline for deposits for this trip is the end of April, so we'd like to get this squared away as soon as we possibly can. Looking forward to that. On Thursday, April 28th, Representative Lauren Carson is going to be joining us for her Conversations with Constituents program. We're really looking forward to that. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll be serving coffee and dessert at that time, but it's a great opportunity to grab the ear of Representative Carson. She's really interested in what her constituents have to say and what they're concerned about, and it's a really informal opportunity to sit with her and tell her what's on your mind. So we're hoping that many of our folks from the Newport area will come and join us for that, to have that one-on-one with Representative Carson. She's a great friend to the King House, and we're looking forward to having her there that afternoon. Last month, we began our special interest group on near-death experiences, and I had the opportunity to sit in this group, which we're calling Who Am I, Why Am I Here, and Where Am I Going? What an interesting group of folks having some really great discussion on, what happens after we pass. Again, this one's open. It's free to the public. It's open to anyone that's interested. Come join us. It's the third Thursday of every month, so we'll be doing it again in April from 5 to 6:30 p.m. In the parlor at the Edward King House. And that particular group is run by Ben Riggs, and who's of our Newport Circle of Scholars fame. Yeah. So we are thrilled to be able to offer this new offering to folks. Very interesting conversations, a lot of serious discussion that touches the heart and touches the soul as well. So we're looking forward to continuing that program. On Thursday, April 21st at 10 a.m., our friend Florence Archambault will be conducting her Cooking for One or Two program. Again, this spring, very popular program. Give us a call to make your reservation for that particular program. This is not a cooking class. This is a roundtable discussion to share tips and recipes and ideas for delicious meals on a smaller scale. I'm having trouble with this right now. I had a family of 5, 3 burly boys, my husband. I'd cook for 15 people, and 2 of them have moved out and they're living on their own. We're down to 3. I'm having trouble scaling down from cooking these large amounts of food down to what's appropriate for 3 people. So we discovered that this program is really very popular to make sure that you're having nutritious meals, but not cooking for so many people anymore, that you're cooking for less. It's an interesting balance to try and strike.
It is, because if you're by yourself or there's just 2 of you, or whatever the case may be, it can be. I mean, I know I go into the market or a convenience store, and I want a loaf of bread, and it's like 2 for $2.79, and I can't use 2 loaves by myself before the expiration date runs out.
That's right.
And it really is. It can be a challenge.
And she's really got some great tips, and there's a lot of sharing that goes on in the program as well on what to do with that. You're not going to buy both loaves of bread. So if you do buy the 1 loaf of bread, and if you do live alone, you're not even going to get through that whole loaf of bread, before it expires on you. So what do you do with that loaf of bread? She's got a list a mile long of what you can do to make sure that, you're utilizing that loaf of bread or the peanut butter or whatever it is that happens to be in your cupboard. But we discover that instead of cooking, because folks don't know how to scale down, they're not eating well, so they're having the pint of ice cream for dinner, or half a sandwich and nothing else, that kind of thing, because they don't want to make the big pot of soup. Yep. So there's ways of making all of that work, and she does a really great job of teaching that.
And just to backtrack, that's a great selling point for your lunch program because those are meals. Those are
full, soup to nut, literally.
Yep.
Soup to dessert meals. It really follows the Mediterranean lifestyle, where you're having your bigger meal in the middle of the day as opposed to having it at night. So at least we can ensure that you get everything you need, nutritionally speaking, during the lunch program. And then if you do have a smaller meal at night, that you're not depriving yourself of, what your body needs to get throughout the day. Absolutely.
And a lot of people just simply they can't afford to go to a local restaurant.
Yeah, you can't.
Even at just once a day, like at dinner time, and so
right. And so if you balance what your food allowance allows for you, if you're over the age of 60 at $3 for a meal, and it is the full meal, you really can't. It's cost effective. You really can't beat it when all is said.
And if you're under 60, it's a deal at
$5. Absolutely. Yep, 59 and younger. On Saturday, April 23rd, the house will be hosting Allison in concert. That's our dear friend Paul Sinawa on harpsichord and his partner Allison Messier, soprano, who will be providing a lovely live performance at the King House, again sponsored by Blenheim Newport. We're really excited about that upcoming concert. It's $10 per person paid at the door. There are no reservations for that particular event. But what a great way to kick off the spring with some beautiful harpsichord and vocal music.
And what a great venue.
Oh, that ballroom, is just made for musical and for live performance, be it dramatic or musical. We recently had the Newport Celtic Players who did a reading of The Cripple of Inishmaan for Irish Heritage Month. And it was, phenomenal. I sat at the back of the room, no microphones on these folks. Yeah. I sat in the back of the room, and during the intermission, the director, Michael, had asked me, "Can you hear us back there?" I said, "Yeah, perfectly." It was phenomenal.
Well, that was like a couple of years ago when you did the fashion show, and you asked me to MC that.
Yep.
It is terrific.
It is a great room, and really every room in the house has great acoustics, but that room, even though it was really by accident when all was said and done, a very live sound in that room. So we're really excited about bringing harpsichord and this beautiful soprano voice to the house. It's very exciting.
It's a beautiful instrument, isn't it?
It is. Yep, surely is. So that's a lot of the stuff that's going on for the month of April. I do have a little wanted. We're looking for volunteer instructors for beginners, bridge, and mahjong. It's bridge is a complicated game. So they tell me, I don't know how to play myself, but we have a lot of seniors who are asking to learn how to play because they'd like to continue doing so. So if there's anyone out there that is listening right now that feels that they are capable of teaching, a beginner's foursome how to play the game, we'd love to have you come join us as a volunteer. And we're also looking for folks who, we just recently purchased a couple of new mahjong boards because the interest is increasing. But we've got folks who are interested in learning how to play. So even if you're, not necessarily an expert, but you can play well and you understand the game and you're willing to teach, we'd love to have you. So give us a call at 846-7426. Let us know if you're interested in teaching.
And actually, that would that actually go for just about anything else?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have an area of expertise, and you think it might be a good idea for a new club get together, there would be enough interest in it.
Yeah. That's how all of these clubs came to being to begin with.
Exactly.
The Near-Death Experience group came into being because Ben came to me and said, "What do you think, Carm?" I said, "Absolutely, let's try." And if it didn't work out, it did. But if it didn't work out, then we try again, until we find the things that do work for our members and for our seniors within the community. So absolutely, give me a call. I'm willing to try anything new. It must be legal. It must be kind.
Oh, obviously.
And obviously,
sure.
it must be appropriate, for folks of this age group. But I'm willing to, hear out, just of anything that would be of benefit to our group.
Well, then I'll have to clear out my calendar and give myself some time to share my expertise in pinochle with you. So please, pinochle. I don't know. That was one game that I just has not. I should never say never.
Never say never.
Has
Absolutely.
not really appealed to me yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Art, now that you've said that, if I get more than 2 phone calls on Pinochle, I'm calling you. And then the last thing that I did want to share with you as well is that tickets go on sale this week for our Run for the Roses spring event. Yep,
right.
Scheduled for Saturday, May 7th. We've changed up the program a little bit to make it a little more user-friendly to our members. So the tickets are $25 per person. There will be a cash bar and a complimentary buffet, and of course the live race action and the fancy hat contest. All kinds of wonderful things happening with regards to that program. So give us a shout. Go to our website at www.edwardkinghouse.org. And that particular event runs from 4:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. So you can join us for the event and still have time to go out into Newport and enjoy dinner at any one of our wonderful eateries.
And I don't know if they're still posted on your website or not, but there are some fabulous pictures from the Run for the Roses, or there were
It's still there.
in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So much
comical.
fun.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a lot of fun.
I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. I mean it's really
It's fun. It
Yeah,
really is fun
yeah.
from beginning to end. Folks come, the ladies come all dressed up with these beautiful,
Yeah.
gorgeous, huge hats, and the gentlemen in their suits and in their spring suits, and it's a lot of fun. Whole lot of fun. And the nice thing about this particular program this year is that it really centers completely around the race. So we've got a lot of, fun things happening and some fun surprises with that particular event as well.
And in addition to my expertise at Pinochle that I alluded to a moment ago, I make a mean mint julep.
Oh, yeah, and we'll have those. You bet.
Now I'm really lying through my teeth.
All right, you won't be making the mint tulips, but we will have them certainly for this particular event. And then lastly, our registration for our next set of classes begins on Monday, April 11th, and our next session will begin on Monday, the 18th.
Now, you said the Run for the Roses event, the reservations have to be in?
The tickets go on sale beginning tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll be on sale all month.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Until May 7th. So we just wanted to let folks know that they could get their tickets early. We tend to sell out this event, so we really want folks to get their tickets while the getting is good. We will not be selling tickets at the door on May 7th because usually we've reached capacity before we get there. So make sure that you reserve your tickets ahead of time.
Now, do you think you'll have some? Is it possible you could have some left after May 1st? Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I was just looking at my calendar, and we don't need to share this with our listening audience, but we'll set up your next recording date that will air on May 1st.
Yep.
So by the time...
I'll know exactly what we have for spots at that point.
Okay. So
Sure thing.
Next time around, we'll have a final tally on that.
Yep. Absolutely. So we're just trying to let folks know that the tickets will be available so that they can get them ahead of time. I know that that's not really an island thing to do. We're not good at that, getting our tickets ahead of time. I know. But I keep trying. So, we'll start seeing the big surge come the last week of April, going into that first week of May. But invariably, I end up breaking someone's heart, a lot of someone's hearts, when we get to, May 5th and 6th, and there's just no room at the inn. Yeah. I can't squeeze in one more person. So, indeed, lots of fun, a lot more affordable this year, and an opportunity for everyone to have a really great time.
And that's why you see so many events, in addition to yours at the Edward King Center, when you hear reservations required, you have to get your tickets in advance. Yeah. And I've worked enough events that involve, especially when you're talking about a meal.
Yeah.
It's all about, it's a waste issue.
Oh, that's what it is.
You have to know how much to order.
Yeah. And being Italian, I never want to not have enough.
Exactly.
That's a nightmare for me, to not have enough.
And God forbid you run out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're
and
between a rock and
we really can't have that happen. We want to make sure that there's enough. And, we had that same thing when we had our Irish tea for St. Patrick's Day in March. Folks were so surprised at the amount of food that we were able to serve to all of them. And I said, it's because you got your ticket in advance. And we had to turn people away for that particular event. Because if I try to squeeze people in, then it takes away from the folks who did do, what we asked them to do. And then I don't have enough. And, but not on my watch. We always want to make sure that we have more than enough for the folks that we serve.
All right. And with that, we have just run out of time. But listen, thanks, Carm. It's always great to have you here.
My pleasure, Art. Thank you for having me.
And the next time we speak, it'll be the 1st of May.
Yes, it will.
Yip, yip, hooray. So until then, you be well.
You too.
And thanks to all you folks out there for listening, and we'll try it again next weekend.